back to another edition of Council Corner, the last edition of Council Corner for the year of 2024. Boy, we've had a phenomenal year, and I would like to thank Ward 2 Councilman Kelly Harris for joining us for this last one. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and has been an awesome year. And first I want to say Merry Christmas to you and your family. Of course, Hudson, this will be his second Christmas. This ought to be a lot of fun for you.
Exciting. Yes.
He'll be wrapping paper all over the place. We also want to say Merry Christmas to all our soldiers across the world and those here at Fort Sill, and thank them for providing safety for all of us. And it's been just a joy for me to represent you as your Ward 2 Councilman during this time.
And Councilman, I definitely want to talk to you about just your last time in a council meeting conducting business. We're going to save that for the end. But first, let's talk about a decision that was made on Tuesday regarding animal welfare, moving the new adoption shelter to the old fire station on 17th and Lee.
Yeah, this is an awesome project. First off, it does two things. One, it allows us to recycle a historical fire station and keep using that, and that's going to be a great thing. But the other thing is that we're going to get a state-of-the-art animal shelter, which we've lacked for a long time. And the good thing about it is not only will it be state-of-the-art, it will also be closer to the citizens. It'll be closer to the middle of town. It'll be easier for citizens to get to if they have lost a pet and need to go look for it. It'll be a lot easier for them to do that. So I'm excited about that. In addition, this year we had a Boy Scout put up a pavilion at the dog park, which was really neat. And this last meeting, another Boy Scout came, is going to provide benches in the ballpark. So now we have a state-of-the-art dog park to go along with that. So all of that will be within about 2 miles of a mile and a half of each other. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, and I know that citizens voted on Propel 2040, which allowed us to complete many projects, or at least get started on many projects throughout the city. $5.5 million designated to the renovation of the animal shelter, and just really looking forward to having that state-of-the-art facility that you were talking about. Another issue, not really issue, but report that was brought was litter abatement efforts within the city.
Yes. So litter abatement is, we all want a beautiful city, and the mayor has focused on this for some time. And we have recently purchased 2 more vacuum trucks that will be able to drive the streets and vacuum some of the litter from the streets. We've also, through our stormwater crew, they've gone out and cleaned up some creeks where there's a lot of litter that was left over from maybe some homeless people or had flushed downstream. And they picked up 90 bags in a day underneath a couple of bridges, so we're making great strides in that. We want to encourage people to continue the bag and tie program, because if your litter is in a bag and it's tied up, it's not likely to escape either from your trash can or from the garbage truck as it's heading to the landfill. And so this is important. We see a lot of litter on that road to the landfill. We have crews. We spend a lot of money on crews just cleaning up 11th Street. So the more you secure your garbage, the better off our city looks, and we encourage that.
That's right. We need to get Bag the Possum and Tie the Raccoon out to really start that message again. I think that they took an early Christmas break, so
they're known to do that.
They really are, those pesky advocates for our city beautification. All right, Councilman, another thing that I found incredibly interesting was increasing the salary for council members and mayor, and there's a really good reason behind it.
There is a really good reason, and this was on my list to do at my last meeting. The last time the council had a raise was in 2005. And so since that time, inflation has taken a bite out of that to the effect of about 56%. So it costs money to be a councilman. You spend money on a cell phone, you spend a lot of money on gas, and people think, well, we're only up there 2 meetings a month for about 6 hours, but in reality, I probably put 30 or 40 hours a week in dealing with council issues. And not only that, you don't ever stop being the councilman. Even when you're asleep, you're the councilman. People don't stop calling you just because it's dark. You get funny calls at all hours of the night, and sometimes they really are emergencies. So really, our council people work 24/7, and this particular council does a great job of responding to constituents' complaints and needs. And I've had several in the last month that have resulted in changes in codes and the way we do business here in the city. So we value that input, but really your council person works very, very hard for you, and this pay increase just reflects inflation. We all know inflation in the last 4 years since COVID has gone through the roof. This just kind of brings us back up to where we were before.
Yeah, and Councilman, now I want to get to the more, I don't know, maybe sad part that I want to talk to you about. Tuesday was your last time on the dais within an actual meeting, and you were able to get the council compensation covered. What else throughout your last 3 years have you been able to accomplish?
It was really interesting as I sat on the dais, and I thought, reflected back. And again, it's not me, it's a team. There's 7 other council people who have been an incredible board, and then we have a great mayor who has led us through and found innovative ways to fund many of the things that we're looking at. Our city manager works very, very hard, and our city clerk, of course, keeps us all on track. So it's not just me, but in this meeting particularly, we had the bid letting for the lights to light up the Rogers Lane I-44 interchange, and as far west on the Rogers Lane as we can get with $2 million, which I think is really important. That intersection is very, very dark, and there's a railroad crossing right there as well. So this was a big thing I've been pushing for a long time. Thanks to Dr. Christopher Ratliff for finding some money in the defense budget that allowed us to do this as well. In addition, another huge thing that we did is we led the contract for new body cameras for the police. Our body cameras were 4 or 5 years old, and some of them were failing, and the technology was no longer able to be serviced. So now we've got these new high-tech body cameras. We're going to increase the safety for our officers, but in addition, there's some other software that's going to go along with this, which is incredible, and it will allow citizens who have a Ring camera or a store that has a security camera, they will be able to allow us to tap into their system, or they will be able to send their footage to us, so our policemen will actually have that video footage when they're out solving crimes, and that's incredible. The other thing that we have are our flock cameras and the new cameras in the cars, which will actually read tags, so we can find out if someone's got an outstanding warrant, if they don't have their insurance. And just in the last few months, we've solved 3 murders and 6 stolen cars with these cameras. It's a phenomenal piece of equipment. It's a great tool for the police department. The police department's very happy to be able to get these in the future, and I'm excited to have been a part of that. In addition to that, in the last 3 years, we've put out about $500 million worth of projects. We have $100 million going to water, we have $100 million going to sewer, we have a $20 million aquatic center, which I can't wait to open up. But we're excited that the city finally has a first-class water facility that we can all use and enjoy, and we believe that will bring in a lot of people from other cities locally, which will be good economic development for us, and that's huge. In addition, we're remodeling McMahon Auditorium. We're putting new windows and roof in the museum. And for those of you who haven't been to our Museum of the Great Plains, it's a phenomenal museum. You should go there. A lot of great history there. We're redoing Carnegie Library, and that was really in bad shape, and that's a historical building. So we get new windows in there, a new roof, and that'll get put back into use in some way, shape, or form. Of course, we've continued the remodeling of City Hall, and if you haven't been to City Hall lately, we just opened up the 3rd floor of that. It is beautiful. If we have a City Hall that we can be proud of. When people come to town, when visitors come and they see our City Hall, they go, wow, that's a nice place. And it's a reflection of the citizens, and again, their desire to put their best foot forward, and really thrilled about that. There's been numerous other projects and some that I didn't get finished, which I'll still be working on as a volunteer. I will continue to work with Freedom Fest. That's one of my favorite projects. 4th of July is just the best holiday for me. And then I'm hoping to do some work with Boulevard Lights, or Holiday in the Park in the future as well, and hoping the mayor will put me on a couple of committees where I can continue to be active. But I did need to take a little bit of time off. So really maybe it's bittersweet, but it's been the greatest privilege of my life to serve this community. And we share, I know you do too, and all of the workers here share that passion for progress that the mayor talks about. And we're making progress. You can't drive anywhere without seeing our progress right now.
That's right.
Really proud of that. Over 50 roads in the last year, which is, according to our streets department, hasn't been done in 10 years. So it's more than it's been done in 10 years. So that's phenomenal. I know it makes it difficult to get around. We have a new big water line going in Cash Road. It takes a little longer than just the mill and overlay, but that's moving right along. We still have a bridge project on South 11th Street that we're still got the bids out on, trying to get some acquisitions there, and that's going to be really, really good for us. So just tons of good stuff. And then let's talk a little bit about economic development as well. I'm really proud. Vista came along. It was actually voted for to buy the mall before I came into office, but Vista was just starting at that time. And for those of you that have tracked that, next year Vista anticipates $29 million payroll. That's huge. And that's just the beginning. We're only about half full, and we already have, we just recently had 4 new companies sign up to be in the Vista. And we have a company that's interested in taking the entire Dillard space, which would be huge as well. In addition to that, we closed the West Wind project, and it is anticipated that it'll soon be in production, and that's a phenomenal. And if that comes to its full potential, that'll be $80 million a year in payroll. So there's about 100, and along with some other industries that come, that's about $150 million a year economic impact. The council just voted this last time for another $67 million in economic development money for TIF districts. Mm-hmm. So the future is bright. It's incredibly bright. And I just wanted to say, finally, the incoming councilman, R.L. Smith, is going to do a fantastic job. I've known R.L. for a long time. He has a long history of public service. He was a police officer for, I believe, 29 years. He's a real estate agent now. He's also a pastor. He will do a phenomenal job. Ward 2 has a long history of great councilmen. Mr. Mike Brown, Mike Tennis was there, Keith Jackson, who I took over from, and thank you, Keith, for all the support you've given me. So R.L. Smith's going to continue that tradition of great councilmen.
That's right. Well, Councilman, you said we have a bright future. We certainly do. Make sure that you have your sunglasses, because there's so much more to come. Now, this isn't the last we're seeing, of course, Councilman Harris. You, of course, have your volunteer efforts, and on January 13th will be that swearing in ceremony at 9 o'clock here at the Wayne Gilley Auditorium. Looking forward to that. And, man, Councilman, we have covered so much. We're going to wrap it up now. If you want to visit our council meeting, be there in person. The first meeting of 2025 will be on January 14th at 6 p.m. at the Wayne Gilley Auditorium here at Lawton City Hall. So until then, have a very Merry Christmas. And Councilman, thank you again so much for your service.
You're most welcome, and thank you for all that you've done.
Thank you. And everything that you do.
Yes.
All right.
Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas.